The second season of the PBA League is underway. 8 star-studded teams owned by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. Today, Hall of Famer Norm Duke and the Dallas Strikers, owned by NFL great Terrell Owens, take on Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters and franchise player Chris Barnes in a format that features singles, doubles, trios, and 5-on-5 team play. It's an all-or-nothing battle on the road to the Elias Cup Final. The winner advances, the loser goes home, and it starts right now on ESPN. Welcome to Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Mike Jakubowski, Hall of Famer Randy Peterson with Kimberly Pressler as the PBA League quarterfinals continue with today's matchup. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters versus the Dallas Strikers. 2 of our original 8 teams have been eliminated, the LAX sending the Brooklyn Styles home in week 1, and the New York City WTT Kingpins ousting the Motown Muscle last week. Today's winner will advance to the semifinals where they will face the winner of the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits Philadelphia Hitmen quarterfinal.
Take a look at the PBA League format. 1 point for singles match, 1 point for doubles, which is the alternate shot, or what we like to call in the business Scotch doubles. There is a trios game and a team game worth 3 points.
A total of 4 points wins today's quarterfinal. The winner advances to the semis and the loser goes home. Today's team's bowling on the blue oil. More about that in a moment. We start with singles. Franchise players squaring off. Chris Barnes for the Atom Splitters and Norm Duke for the Dallas Strikers.
10-pin.
Woo! Duke, the only player to also serve as a team manager in this year's PBA League. The Strikers roster also includes Rhino Page, Amleto Monicelli, Mike Machuga, and Dave Wadka. Wadka, the new addition.
Pretty stable roster. They picked up 1 player, Dave Wadka, and lost Brian Smith. Hey, guess where Brian Smith's at now? He's on the other team.
Clips it.
I'm not happy about that. You'll notice I didn't make fun of that flat 10 at all.
Yeah, they put an extra coat of paint on that 10-pin there. That's the only way Norm made it. And
a strike for Barnes. Take a look at the Atom Splitters roster. Managed by Mark Baker, a completely retooled team, as Barnes and Tom Barrett are the only returning players from last season.
And when you look at what they added from free agency, Wes Malott, Tommy Jones, great pickups. They drafted Brian Smith and lost Josh Blanchard and Stuart Williams to free agency.
Second frame singles match here in the PBA League, good for 1 point. And Barnes,
Candy Crush
strike. And there he is, the blue oil, 42 feet.
You can see the ball track there just inside third arrow, and the players are going to try to go pretty straight early on. And then once the oil pattern breaks down, they're going to migrate to the center part of the lane and look for more oil.
So we will keep an eye on it as play progresses and let you see the ball path and the breakdown. Now the 10-pin for Norm.
Back-to-back week 10s, Norm using 2 different bowling balls. The characteristics of this pair is the right lane out-hooks the left lane. Norm Duke made a fortune with that type of down and in shot, that very soft hand end-over-end roll, and lately not a lot of success with it.
These two have met up before on television. As recently as last summer, our Ebonite flashback starts with Barnes versus Duke at the Milwaukee Open.
Well, there's a nice trip 4-9 for Chris Barnes. This match was really close. It came all the way down to the 10th frame. Norm Duke had a chance to win. He got a strike on the first ball, left a flat 10. Chris Barnes wins sitting on the bench. And it was deja vu all over again at the King of Swing the very next week. Norm Duke right back in the same position. Again, this match coming down to the 10th frame. Barnes rolls another 4-pin. Norm Duke this time needs another double in the 10th. And he gets the double in the 10th.
Norm Duke voted to the PBA Hall of Fame in 2009 and the 7th greatest player in PBA history. Player manager for the Dallas Strikers.
Using 2 different bowling balls. Oh, help.
2-pin.
A little quick, missed it at the bottom and got it right at target.
Hit something.
3 frames, 3 single pins, 3 spares, and a flip of the grip sack. Old school to Barnes. Barnes a double. And an early lead here in this singles game, doubles, trios, and a 3-point team match to come.
Gosh.
Turkey
Nice
for
work.
Barnes. Well, as we showed you, Barnes and Duke are no strangers on the lanes, and bowling fans have benefited when they've squared off.
Yeah, we've had some great matches over the years, and there's a lot of really close games that came down to 10th frames, and he's stolen a couple, and I stole one from him in there last summer, too, and they always seem to come down to the end. So I guess it's a great matchup. I'm not so sure that I'm the guy in our team who's best in the arena with all the early friction that's in there, but that's the way it's set up as a franchise player, so we'll go head up with it.
Barnes in the 4th, managing the early friction to this point. What does Barnes mean by early friction?
That means in the first 15 feet of the lane, his ball tends to read it too early. The last thing you want is your bowling ball to hook early. You'll never get it to the break point consistently. You want your ball to skid through the first 15 feet of the lane, then pick up a slight roll in the mid lane, and then come off the end of the pattern with however much down lane change of direction you desire. But that's not going to happen consistently unless you get your bowling ball through the front part of the lane.
So perfect for Barnes thus far. Barnes 4 in a row, Duke up in the 4th frame. And Norm Duke, first strike in this singles tilt.
Come on, guys. Come on now. Rhino. Substitution, Rhino for Duke.
They're allowed to do that. They're allowed 1 substitution per match. That sub has to stay in.
Of course, the next frame, right? He stays in the rest of the game. Right, but I bowled my spare.
Norm will have to shoot his spare, and then Ronald Page will come in for him.
Well, this is the first substitution.
Substitute Duke for Barnes.
First substitution we've seen in singles competition. And I don't have to go to the commissioner to let you know that that would be an illegal move, Norm.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, though.
Got to stay on your own club. Cross lane picks up the 10-pin, and Norm is going to pull himself out.
All right.
Thank you.
Chris Barnes, former collegiate bowler of the year at Wichita State University. He was a 2-time collegiate All-American there and a 12-time member of Team USA. Very familiar with team play on the front 4. 5th frame.
Spins out the 4-5-7.
I'll go a little further right, Edmund.
Barnes is locked and loaded right now. Got some good pin carry as well. That never hurts. He's making some pretty good shots just inside second arrow, and he's just shredding the rack. This is a 42-pin match, and we're not to the 6th frame yet. Barnes is perfect through 6. Big lead in singles.
Norm Duke has pulled himself out of the lineup. We'll see what Rhino Page can do with the remainder of our singles match next.
The PBA League quarterfinals are brought to you by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Barbasol, Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol. By Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe in the world. Welcome back to the PBA League. We're halfway through our singles match between Chris Barnes of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters and Norm Duke of the Dallas Strikers. Time now for our Barbasol Close Shave of the day. Norm Duke in the first frame trying to pick up the 10-pin, and Norm just barely clips it for the spare. Norm dodges a bullet early here, but still today has not been his day, so manager Norm has pulled player Norm from this match and replaced him with the southpaw Rhino Page. And Norm is standing by with our Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. Norm, you didn't take your own advice. You said get all strikes to your teammates over there, but you pulled yourself out. What was going wrong with you on these lanes?
You know, on TV pairs, it's so common for players to go in and out of the momentum. I struck every ball right before practice, and now I'm on 10-pin. I need to learn a little bit about my lefty. I need to see if that bowling ball is heavy enough to strike. He has been under injury. He's thrown a 14-pound ball. I wanted to see it. If Barnes wasn't so doggone good, I would stay in and try to mount a charge against him, but I don't see him stop striking. I need to learn about Rhino Page at this point.
All right, back to you guys.
Nice work.
Very interesting to note, 14-pound bowling ball being thrown by Rhino Page.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can get it to hit hard enough. Rhino Page coming off of wrist surgery. He's worked his way up to 14 pounds. But, yeah, the question mark is, will it hit?
So Duke, in a sense, conceding this point and seeing what Rhino has. And Rhino opens from the left side with a powerful strike.
And powerful strikes seem to be all that Rhino Page threw in last year's PBA League competition. In the Carmen Salvino Classic, it came down to Page and Chris Barnes as the last two men standing in a Clash Eliminator competition that was featured last season. Both Page and Barnes were perfect, each with 7 strikes in a row. But then Barnes was the first to blink. And that was all Rhino Page needed, finishing off Barnes with a flourish, much to the delight of team owner Carol Owens.
That's what I'm talking about, Theo.
And so here they are again. Barnes and Page facing off in Detroit. But this time it appears that Barnes may be impossible to catch no matter how much Rhino strikes.
Rhino Page absolutely fearless. You can see it in his eyes. He is determined, and he wants the ball.
There's the 7-pin.
Well, yeah, but that's not a weak 7. That's a ringing 7. That's okay. And that shows that the ball is going through the pins hard enough.
Page also very familiar with team competition. Member of Team USA in the past.
Watch the 4-pin. Second on the left. Around the 7. You know, I think his rev rate high enough that there's enough friction on the lane for him to get that 14-pound ball to hit hard enough.
Now Barnes up on the front 6. 1 point for singles, 1 point doubles and trios. Games are next. Dallas Strikers versus the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Silver Lake up here in the form of Barnes, 7th frame.
7-bagger.
Gimmick guy.
Team with the most points will advance to the semifinals in the PBA League, and the team that loses will be eliminated. And Barnes has the front 8.
Where are you going? Can I get some shot in before you come in?
He doesn't want you to be prepared. I guess Smith's not going to be.
Brian Smith going over to the practice pair.
Barnes, right?
Maybe bowling in the doubles competition.
Looks like Machuga's already done the same for Dallas. Page finishing the string here for Dallas and the strike.
So far, so good in the power category for Rhino Page. No sign of the light 14-pound ball. And let's keep in mind that I don't know of any other player on tour that uses 14 pounds. It's either 15 or 16. And that 1 pound, once you go from 15 to 14, is a huge difference. 16 to 15, not so much. Just seems like the cutoff weight is 15 pounds. 14-pound balls, they don't react as hard as 15 and 16 because the dynamics of the bowling ball changes to take weight out of the bowling ball. But no week 7 thus far for Rhino Page.
Chris Barnes trying to stay perfect here, and it's certainly possible, especially since he's done it before on television. That was back nearly 2 years ago at the Geico Shark Open at the World Series of Bowling in Las Vegas. Barnes became only the 22nd player to ever bowl a televised 300 game, and did it in front of his wife and 2 sons.
Perfect. 9-bagger.
Nice work.
Well, Chris Barnes has got a nice shim that he can pull that ball up against and hold the ball on line. Watch this. Pretty direct in between 2nd and 3rd arrow, and there's plenty of oil in the middle part of the lane for Chris to go down and at him. That's exactly what he's doing. That great roll, great hand, keeping it behind the ball and just rolling it end over end.
Wow. And that's it.
I didn't miss left that time. Sup?
Silver Lake secures the point. Up now 1-0 over the Dallas Strikers.
This ball just checked early. Watch it rev up real quick, and it broke loose off the end of the pattern.
Awesome game, brother. Awesome game, guys. Man, you guys.
265 final for Silver Lake and Barnes. An interesting strategy by Norm Duke. He conceded the point early and was going after some knowledge. We'll see where Rhino shows up, whether in doubles or trios, and certainly on the team. What did Norm Duke learn by inserting Rhino Page into the lineup?
Well, you know, you heard Norm say it. I got to know that that 14-pound ball is going to hit. And I think it's hitting fine. His carry's not very good. He's left a lot of 7-pins. That time he trips the 7 out. I mean, I think his carry's okay. He has no problem hitting the pocket.
This one will look.
He's going to switch balls now and give another ball a look to see if the reaction and the pin carry is any better than what he has.
Silver Lake on the board 1-0 over Dallas. Chris Barnes takes a perfect game into the 10th. We'll return with our doubles game right after this. The PBA League rolls on at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. 1 point to the Silver Lake Atom Splitters by virtue of the 265-208 win, courtesy of Chris Barnes, who is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Mike. Chris, you bowled perfect up until the 9th frame. Now you're going to be in the doubles match right now. Do you think your luck can continue?
Well, that crazy antic was great. The first game, and I got away with a few bad shots. So hopefully I can execute a little better, and I get to bowl with my old roommate, Brian Smith, a great friend of mine for the last 15 years. We're looking to build on that momentum.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. And Randy, you bowled doubles. Who was your doubles partner?
Well, I won a doubles tournament. It was the Touring Players Senior Doubles with the great Carmen Salvino back a few years ago, and that was in Cheektowaga, New York, and that was an unforgettable moment for me. But my touring doubles partner was Tom Kreitz, and Tommy Kreitz won a major, multiple tournament winner on the tour, and Tommy and I were a really good doubles team. Back in those days, the doubles tournament was contested at the old Showboat in Las Vegas, and Tommy and I, we were a force to be reckoned with in that tournament.
We've got a couple of doubles matchups here. First, for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Barnes staying in the lineup, and he's added Brian Smith to that pairing.
Yeah, I think that's a real solid lineup, and the reason why I say that is because, number one, these guys, you heard Chris say it, they're really good friends. They used to room together on tour, but Brian Smith can play the same line as Chris Barnes, and we saw how well that worked in that first match against Duke/Rhino Page. I think it's a great matchup.
And on the Dallas Strikers side, Norm Duke and Mike Machuga have a long path and a long past together.
Yeah, but I think there's a big question mark for that team for the simple fact that Norm Duke pulled himself out of the singles competition. Now he's back again to bowl doubles. I'm not so sure what's going to change in Norm's favor just because it's doubles. And on top of that, we haven't seen Mike Machuga throw a ball down the lane yet. So big question mark for that team.
Dallas Strikers trail by a point when we return. A point on the line in doubles here in Allen Park when we return to the PBA League. Welcome back to the PBA League. Silver Lake Atom Splitters and the Dallas Strikers in a quarterfinal matchup. Silver Lake leads by 1 point and a 1-point doubles game. And this is what we call alternate shot or Scotch doubles. Barnes on the strike. So now Duke pulled himself out of singles. That was the first time we'd seen that. The franchise player and manager for Dallas Strikers now back in the lineup and leading off in the Duke Machuga doubles pairing. Kingpin, ringer.
Alternate shot. Mike Machuga will now get up and shoot that spare. I'm not sure Norm realizes that. Now he does. Machuga just had to shoo him off the lane. Pretty good shot here, though, for Norm. Everything except the result.
So now Machuga in, and his first shot will be cross lane across the 42-foot blue oil. And a spare for Dallas.
It's usually the other way. Usually he's cleaning up my messes.
Doubles format, alternate shot. Player 1 throws a strike shot. If the player does not strike, player 2 converts the frame as we just saw. If player 1 strikes, player 2 will throw the strike ball. So Norm Duke will need to strike before Machuga will have that opportunity. Repeat throughout the game. Strike for Duke. Seems to have moved inside just a shade.
Excuse me, Mike. Beautiful shot there. Gave it a little more of the good stuff at the release point, and he's going to grab a hold of this one and make sure this one's going to get to the pocket. And it does. Boy, that's perfect in the 1-3. Now, first look at Brian Smith, right lane.
Barnes set him up with the strike. Now Brian Smith in the second, and 10-pin.
Pushed just a little bit too long down the lane and came in behind the head pin, leaving that half 10.
This could be anything.
Barnes didn't shoot at a whole lot of spares in that first game against Duke/Rhino Page. Remember, he started with the first 9 strikes in a row.
Got a few hundred in at the TOCs.
Barnes in, passes the baton back to Brian Smith, co-owns a bowling center in Roseburg, Oregon. We'll see him quite a bit in the PBA West and Northwest regions. Light hit, avoids the baby split, and just the 7-pin.
Well, the left lane's a little tighter. Brian Smith just witnessed that firsthand. This ball coming in light, and a nice break, tripping the 2-pin forward and only leaving the 7-pin.
Leaves Barnes a couple of spares, as we saw the Elias Cup there, named for Eddie Elias, the founder of the PBA, back in 1958. There is the Elias Cup, currently held by the New York City WTT Kingpins, who we'll see in one semifinal matchup. Now Mike Machuga with his first look at a fresh set of pins.
Talk about making it tough on your partner. Took a re-rack and then left the 3-4. The Elias Cup named after the founder, Eddie Elias. Eddie Elias was instrumental in taking the Professional Bowlers Tour to new heights.
Just missed.
I had a run.
It's an open frame, which gives Machuga a look at a fresh set of pins. Dallas trails by 11 in this game and 1-0 in this quarterfinal. And the 10-pin falls for Mike Machuga. Strike on the board in the 4th for Dallas.
You like to think of this Scotch doubles format as alternate shots in golf. If your partner hits it OB off the tee, guess what? You're going to have trouble making par or birdie on that hole. And that's exactly what happened to Norm Duke and Mike Machuga in the 3rd frame.
Brian Smith, owner of the 2003 Masters title, won in Reno. And he rips it right. Better indeed.
He's got a beat on that right lane, and
You get your lane back.
Chris gets his lane back on the left lane. And I think the key to the doubles match is when the players can throw enough strikes, they get to stay on the same lane over and over again.
Silver Lake up 11, 5th frame. Barnes up now for the Atom Splitters. Can extend the lead, and he does with a double.
Remember, the winner of this match, singles, doubles, trios worth 1 point, team event worth 3 points. The winner advances. The losers are out of the competition.
The winners in this quarterfinal match will advance to the semifinals. Now Dallas, same opportunity to double here in the 5th frame.
Oh, terrible break.
All right, squared up.
Come on, squared up, Jim. Great shot.
Well, they're falling behind, but currently down by 21 pins, and Norm Duke could have cut the deficit to 11 with a strike there, and it's kind of an awkward leave with the 7-pin. That's where the 10 goes to the sidewall kick, or the 6 goes to the sidewall, kicks the 10 out, 7 still standing. Very unusual.
Come on, buddy. Make another good one.
Machuga picks up the spare.
Mike Machuga, good spare shooter, solid spare shooter, as is Norm Duke. But right now they need strikes,
Come on,
not
baby.
spares.
Come on now.
Just not a consistent reaction to the pocket. Even though Norm's been around the pocket with every shot, just not a consistent entry angle.
Machuga cleans up the spare. He owns 2 PBA Tour titles. And when we return, more doubles action here in the PBA League. Silver Lake up 1. Dallas trying to even things up. Machuga and Duke looking to keep pace with Barnes and Smith. More doubles when we return. PBA League rolls on at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters up 1 point to none in this quarterfinal match. And time for a bio blast. Let's meet Chris Hardwick, Silver Lake Atom Splitter owner. He's the son of PBA Hall of Famer Billy Hardwick, named after bowling announcer Chris Schenkel, founder of Nerdist.com, writer-contributor for Wired Magazine, and host of Midnight at Comedy Central, Talking Dead on AMC. Chris Barnes and Chris Hardwick teamed up in a doubles competition of their own at a CP3 Celebrity Invitational.
Yeah, much to the disdain of funny man Kevin Hart. But Chris Hardwick comes from some pretty good genes, and he proved it. Chris Barnes, here's the winning shot for him and his teammate. There's the hardware, Mike J.
The Chris Paul Celebrity Invitational Trophy, that great bronze trophy. And a great doubles win for Hardwick and Barnes. Back to action now in our doubles game, 1 point, and the lead belongs to Silver Lake. And can be extended with another strike here in the 6th. And that comes up high, avoids worse fate, just the 4-pin.
I don't know. Well, the right ball.
Missed. 4-pin.
Come on. Come on, pick me up.
Well, just a mental mistake here by Barnes, whiffing on the 4-pin. You know, we saw in that piece Chris Hardwick, the team owner of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. And I mentioned the good genes. You know, his father, Billy Hardwick, who recently passed away, was one of the greatest players in the history of the PBA. He's the first ever to win the Triple Crown, which is winning the U.S. Open, the Tournament of Champions, and the National Championship. Take a look at Billy Hardwick's style right here, the classic full roller, meaning that his track was between the fingers and thumb hole. But Billy Hardwick was tough as nails on the lane and about as accurate as they came.
Duke up for Dallas, and Dallas has been let back into this doubles game on the Barnes miscue, and Duke taking advantage now, handing it over to Machuga. They can take the lead here in the 8th frame.
I'm not sure Machuga's thrown a strike yet in this competition. Oh, yep, he did in the 4th frame. He struck on the left lane. He's back on the left lane. This is a really good thing for the Dallas Strikers. They can take the lead with a strike right here. Oh my! 7-10 denied. Check out this pin action. Just when we thought we had a blowout, guess who's in the lead now by 1 pin? Mike Machuga and partner Norm Duke and the Dallas Strikers. Watch this pin carry. The 5-pin barely rolls the 7, and something tipped the 10 out.
So just that quickly, Dallas now in the lead. Barnes can atone. A strike will get the lead back for Silver Lake. 8th frame.
Look out. Very fortunate only to have left the 4-pin.
Nice move over there.
Worked hard.
Brian Smith sarcastically saying, I worked hard. It was a single pin spare. Brian, remember your partner just missed that in the 6th frame.
Kicks out. 10-pin strike for Silver Lake.
And nice shot there. Setting up the 10th frame. Max score for them, 216. Max score for the Dallas Strikers, Norm Duke and Mike Machuga, 227. Big shot coming up here for Norm Duke.
Foundation frame, Dallas put a double together. Now Duke up. Good shake out. The 2 and the 8.
I thought it would have turned anyway. That's you, Michael.
Well, that ball never hooked. It was hydroplaning. It looked like a car on a sheet of ice. Never got to the 1-3. Hard enough to strike. Now leaving his partner the pesky 2-8 spare combo.
Come on.
My bad. My bad.
Did not break down nearly as quick.
I know.
And the hammer tough spare replay covering the 2 and the sleeper 8.
Oh, come on.
Machuga does it perfectly. Now Norm Duke needs to throw a strike here to give his team a chance to win this and win a point for the Dallas Strikers. There you go. Machuga's got some experience on this left lane. He's getting up now. He can double. They need to strike out to force the Atom Splitters to strike out, or excuse me, to throw a double in the 10th frame. And we do have the possibility of a tie. In the event of a tie, the teams will split the 1 point.
So that cuts through the heart. 3,
Pull my
6,
thumb out of that. I think it's still in.
9, and 10.
Well, Mike Machuga wrenched on that one at the bottom of the swing and got it right, which made that ball hook
94,
and hook a lot.
56, 66, 76, 5.
Really not on that one. And then you see it get out to the dry part of the lane and just overhook.
Big spare.
195 finish for Dallas.
Not exactly textbook on the conversion, but right now the Adam Splitters, if we take one more look, he barely catches enough of the 3-pin, and he converts. Now, a strike here, it's over. Spare and 9, we have a tie. Oh, my.
Messenger missed.
Wow.
That's good.
Massive messenger in front. Chris Barnes has to make this, or Dallas Strikers win the point. If Barnes converts here, Brian Smith will get back up, and he'll need to strike to win. Watch this messenger. Guys are just slinging wood everywhere.
Barnes covers the spare, and Brian Smith now with a chance to earn a point for Silver Lake. In the event of a tie, they'd split the point half and half.
Strike is a winner, 9's a tie, 8's a loser.
Eight is a loser, and this match is even at 1-1.
That was not good.
You can always go back to the missed 4-pin, but pretty surprised that Brian Smith did not clutch that one out and throw a strike.
So Dallas evens things up at 1-1. Smith for the win. Coming up short. Trios next. It's 1-1 in the PBA League.
The PBA League quarterfinal brought to you by HotelPlanner.com. The best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms, best rate, guaranteed. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Motive Bowling, high-performance equipment with a fresh perspective. Get motivated. And by Ebonite, bowl it forward.
The PBA League's second season is in full swing, and now you can support your favorite team by purchasing PBA League apparel at PBA.com. The latest PBA League t-shirts, along with other officially licensed PBA merchandise, are available by clicking on the Shop tab at PBA.com. Tough loss for the Adam Splitters, and Kimberly Pressler is standing by with manager Mark Baker.
That's right, Mike. It was a tough loss for you guys, but how do you pick the spirits back up for your team and move on to the trios?
Yeah, Brian threw it really good in the 10th, didn't get that 10-pin. So now I bring in the 3 horses, Dom, Wes, and Tommy. Just let them do what they do, and we should be okay.
Now, why did you pick that lineup?
Those 3 guys tend to hook at the most of my team. Chris owes it fairly straight. I want to keep my straight team farther out so we don't ruin the lanes. So in team event, we don't get too far left. So the 3 big guys are coming in this match.
All right, we'll see how they do.
And Randy, it was 2 particular shots by Silver Lake late in that game that did him in and allowed Dallas to escape with a victory and earn a point and even up this match.
Yeah, it really was, Mike. It was the missed 4-pin by Chris Barnes, and then ultimately it was the 10th frame. But here's the whiff. That got Norm Duke and Mike Machuga back into the match. And then here in the 10th frame, Brian Smith needs all 10. 9 would have tied. He got 8. And quite honestly, Norm Duke, Mike Machuga backdoored their way to 1 point in this match.
Well, Jones and Barrett and Malott on paper, you look to be stronger than Dallas, but they don't bowl them on paper. You bowl them on the lanes.
No, I agree. But I think Mark Baker brought up a great point. They went with their straight players first. Chris Barnes, much straighter. Brian Smith throws it, can throw it straighter. And so he left the big guns for last. And the reason behind that is, and you heard Mark say it, was so that they didn't beat up the oil pattern. So the players could stay far enough right so that come team event, they still have plenty of oil to move into in the middle part of the lane. You're going to see some big revs and a lot of hook in this trios match from that team.
And then Page, Monticelli, and Watka will do battle in trios for Dallas. And speaking of oil patterns, Randy, let's take a look at the innovative blue oil. For the very first time, we're able to see the laydown area and what actually happens during transition.
On the left, before practice, on the right, you can see the lighter areas just outside the second arrow and just inside the second arrow. Some of those little lighter marks that you see as the ball, as it comes in contact with the lane, some of those are created by shooting spares, but the lighter worn areas in that track area, that's where the players have been playing. You notice that nobody's in the fourth arrow yet, and that's because the big hands, the big guns, they haven't bowled yet.
We got trios action coming up, and then our team competition, and then the winner moves on and the loser goes home. So there's urgency to earn the points, both in trios and then to capture the team match. There's urgency involved.
Well, right now, as it stands, this match is going to be decided in the team event finale, because that portion of the match is worth 3 points. Right now, it's all tied up 1-1.
When we return, it's trios, Jones, Barrett, Millot versus Page, Monticelli, and Watka in the PBA League. Welcome back to the PBA League. That's a pretty big bowling fan, if I should say so myself. Walter Ray Williams, the greatest of all time, taking in the action here at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Time for PBA League Trios competition. Tommy Jones, Don Barrett, Wes Millot. Jones will lead off, bowl the 4th, 7th, and 10th. Barrett will bowl 2nd, 5th, and 8th, and Wes Millot picks up the rest of the frames. In trios, you bowl your own frame, so you pick up your own spares. And Tommy Jones, head to toe in purple for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. We'll begin our trios for 1 point. Match even at 1-1.
That's most of them.
2, 4, and the 10.
Quality efforts there.
And did you mention that Tommy, being the leadoff bowler, will also finish the 10th frame?
Yes, indeed. So that's interesting, as you both finish and begin in trios.
What a great shot.
$2, Oscar.
Great conversion. 2-4-10. Tommy Jones made it look easy.
Rhino Page up for the Dallas Strikers. And he hits the pocket. Drills 10 back.
Rhino Page, Amleto, Monticelli, Dave Watka, in that order. You can see the frames the players are going to bowl in. Amleto, the ageless one from Barquisimeto, Venezuela, gets up on the left lane. Mike J., this guy is in redonkulous shape.
Hall of Fame style. And he gets wide on the first shot, and it's a 2-10.
52 years of age. Boy, and the only thing giving that away is the grays in his hair. This style hasn't changed much over the years, and him being in such great physical shape certainly has aided in that. He puts a lot of torque and a lot of strain and stress on his body with that style, that big open hand style. He's got to use his legs a lot as well.
Up comes Don Barrett, a man who won his first major a little over 2 months ago. Barrett, the #1 seed at the PBA World Championship in Las Vegas, where he met up with former Player of the Year Sean Rash in the final. But Rash would make a costly mistake, one that would prove fatal. Barrett needed a double and 8 pins in the 10th to shut Rash out. And Dom delivered, striking out to take home the World Championship trophy to England.
Come on!
And that's a strike for Silver Lake.
Heavy-handed Dom Barrett has really come into his own, winning at the World Championship, finishing 3rd at the Tournament of Champions.
Why all the jokes got to come out now?
Here's Big Wes Malott.
Wes splits the 8 and 9.
All
Double.
the jokes, huh? Where are the jokies? You do that pretty well there, folks. Down on that one.
Wes Malott's had a pretty solid start to the year and a great 2013 as well. As you take a look at that ball reaction, Wes finishing runner-up at the Tournament of Champions.
Dave Watka, PBA Tour titleist, up in the 3rd for Dallas. And package wide, 2 in the 8. Watka acquired in the PBA League draft this year after leaving the LAX. Spare for Dallas.
Come on now. Let's go. Come on, guys.
So both teams have gone through the order once, and top of the order once again, Rhino Page up for Dallas. Page struck back in the 1st, the only striker in trios with a strike thus far. 4th frame. Dallas trails by 22. Page, 2 strikes.
Remember, folks, Rhino Page is coming off of wrist surgery. He's throwing a 14-pound ball. But we have a tour truck out here that hauls all the equipment from all the different manufacturers. There's no 14-pound equipment on that truck. It's all 15s and 16s. Rhino Page has to have his manufacturer send him 14-pound balls specifically for him to this event.
Jones looking to extend the lead for Silver Lake and clears the deck. Tommy Jones, Turkey in trios for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
Well, much better than the first time he was up when he went 2-4-10. That ball just absolutely peeled the 1-3 pocket. This is going to be a 10-pin party in the pit. Watch this. Bam.
Silver Lake with the early advantage, but can increase it with Dom Barrett. Light, and the 10-pin stands.
And there's the slicker characteristics of the left lane. Even with Dom Barrett's heavy hand, he couldn't get that one to face up.
Spare for Barrett. Back over to Amleto Monticelli, 19-time winner on the PBA Tour, 2-time PBA Player of the Year. Voted the 21st greatest player in PBA history. Still going strong out on the PBA 50 circuit. He was the Rookie of the Year out there in 2012. Dallas with an opportunity to double.
Trouble for Dallas in this trios match halfway through. They haven't thrown a double yet. They have an open, and they're trailing by 31 pins. However, let's not forget what happened in the doubles match. It's kind of the same scenario early on.
Spare spare for Monticelli, and Silver Lake is plus 31. This match is tied at 1-1. 1 point for trios. Our 3-point Baker team 5-player game is next. The winner advances to the semifinal. The loser is eliminated from PBA League competition. Wadka for Dallas, 6th frame.
Well, Wadka went light on the right lane, Mike, and then he steps up on the slick left lane, and boy, the riding was almost plain and simple on the wall in front of us. Kind of had a feeling he was going to go light on this lane, and he did.
Spare for Dallas. Can they do what they accomplished in doubles and find a way to eke out a victory? But to this point, it's been Silver Lake putting together a turkey in trios competition. We'll have the remainder of this trios game next. We'll return to the PBA League.
PBA League is in session here at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Mike Jakubowski along with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler. Let's meet the owner of the Dallas Strikers. And even if you're the most casual of sports fans, you still know this man. NFL great and future Hall of Famer Terrell Owens. There's very little T.O. failed to accomplish in his spectacular career. 6 Pro Bowls, named to the 2000s All-Decade team, and the only player to have scored at least 2 touchdowns against every team in the NFL. Truly one of the all-time greats.
Not a bad bowler in his own right either. Terrell Owens loves bowling and loves the PBA, and we're thankful to have him.
And another strike. Turkey put together.
That's a 3-bagger.
Back to our trios match. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters up by 32 as Wes Malott steps up to the line. Wes with a strike his first time up back in the 3rd.
High flash. This is not looking good for the Dallas Strikers.
We are bowling in the trios discipline. 3 bowlers per team. They rotate through and bowl their own frames. Player 1, that's Jones. He bowls the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th. And the leadoff bowler also bowls and completes the 10th frame. Now Jones up in the 7th as well, looking for the double. Shakes it.
This lane stinks.
4-8.
Travis, you do this lane?
Tommy Jones not happy with the left lane.
Hex explains a lot.
First time on that left lane. Remember, Tommy Jones left
I know
the 2-4-10.
I'm only getting one of these, so I know. Don't worry.
But he was able to convert. This time light again. Good news is Tommy gets to finish the 10th frame on the right lane.
Tommy drills that spare 8-time member of Team USA. So Tommy knows how to operate in a team environment.
I wouldn't like that.
Rhino Page knows Team USA as well. Member there from 2004 to 2010. Rhino also a first-team All-American at Kansas back in the 4-5 season. Six-bit.
Well, Rhino Page is the only bright spot for the Dallas Strikers. He's the only player that has actually thrown strikes for that team. And this one here just drifts a little bit high. You could hear him say go, and that usually means the ball is inside a target. Rhino fortunate only to leave the 6-pin, 8-pin falling late.
All right, bud. Come on. Come on. I got to throw it better now.
Back to Monticelli. Match is even at 1-1.
That was the old tired wrist shot.
Point here to be earned. And 3 points coming up in our Team Baker 5-player game coming up next. 8th frame. Strike for Monticelli.
That away, Amleto. Good shot there. Something to get his team jump-started. They can strike out for 216. Right now, the Atom Splitters are going at a 219 pace.
Don Barrett has his share of team competition experience as well. He's part of the 2009, 10, and 13 Weber Cup champions. Annual competition between European and American teams. And a strike for Don Barrett. Mark Baker managing the club owned by Chris Hardwick. Mark's got 4 PBA titles, 26 career television appearances, and the 1985 George Young High Average winner.
No, you got to get it to hook.
Mark did finish second in the Tournament of Champions one year, unable to compete anymore due to a bad back. But back in Mark's heyday, there weren't too many that out-hooked Mark Baker. And we didn't have these bowling balls back in Mark Baker's heyday. I mean, he was out-hooking a lot of people with urethane.
Yeah, that's pretty good for me.
Mark Baker could strike with the best of them back then.
Spare for Silver Lake, and now opportunity for Dallas. They've got a strike working. They can still shoot 216. And the 10 almost eclipsed, but it stands.
Not going to get it done that way. Not when you're trailing by 30-plus pins. Dave Walker really needed that hit there, and unfortunately, Dallas Strikers, they've all but run out of time.
All right.
Mathematically over. Inside a target and the whiff.
Page trips the 6 forward.
I wonder if that 14-pounder had anything to do with tripping that 6. Promise you another pound or two, and he probably leaves it. Norm has got to rally the troops, Mike, and figure something out for the team event, because that's what's going to get them to the next round. Maybe Norm needs to hire a manager.
Could turn around and see who's available out there. The commissioner might be able to authorize such a transaction. More importantly, Silver Lake will earn a point here and go up 2-1, meaning that either a win or a tie in the team would advance them to the semifinal. Little extra knowledge for Dallas, as Silver Lake will finish up here in the 10th, and will go up 2-1.
Pretty good strategy here. Brian Smith coming in for Tommy Jones and getting Brian ready for the team event portion of this match. It's been sitting for a while, hasn't thrown a shot in a bit. He needs a little bit of practice and warm-up. All right, nice shot. He gets another shot now in the 10th frame.
Given that wrist, they're working over, and he'll pull out another ball. There's always several options when you have an option in the 10th frame. What are you doing when you pick out another piece of equipment?
You're just testing the waters. You're trying to find the right ball for the oil pattern, and that's what Brian Smith's doing here. Going to give another look at another piece of equipment to see if he likes it better. Anything you can do to try to match up better with the oil pattern.
So 213-184 winner for Silver Lake. The Atom Splitters go up 2-1, and with a tie or a win in team, they will advance to the semifinals. Team for 3 points coming next in the PBA League. PBA League, LAX and New York City WTT Kingpins have already advanced to the semifinals. The winner here, Dallas and Silver Lake, will advance to one side of the semifinal bracket and get the winner of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. That quarterfinal yet to come. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. And Randy, the blue oil, a lot of folks are talking about it on Facebook and Twitter, and now we get to see it and experience it and learn from it as we get to see what happens to the oil as we move along in a competition. It's really fascinating to look at.
Yeah, it's great for the viewers. They get to see the oil transitioning throughout each game. On the left, fresh oil. On the right, this is what it looks like after the trios. Remember when we looked at this after the singles match? There was no marks left of third arrow. When the big power guys came in, Dom Barrett, Tommy Jones, and Wes Malott, you can see how much more of the oil has been touched up there left of that fourth arrow. You see balls being laid down right now at about the 25th board. So, I mean, this is a great tool to use to show the viewers just how the oil transitions. And a lot of it has to do with who's bowling on it.
And bowling fans like to talk oil, and they also like to talk about the dynamics of the game, and I think it's about time we get into some track tech talk.
Absolutely. And you know, this time conversation is all about ball roll. Roll versus side turn. Chris Barnes is a roller. Look at his hand position as he releases the bowling ball. Fingers up the back of the ball. This controls down lane reaction. Look how straight that ball is going down the lane and how subtle the change of direction is. Wes Malott, other end of the spectrum. Look at that hand. You can actually see his thumb on the outside of the ball. This is called side turn. Now watch what this does in terms of reaction. There's more angle going to the right, therefore creating more angle into the pocket. He creates much more of an angle. Chris Barnes, much more of a down and in kind of player. Which one is better? Depends on what oil pattern you're bowling on.
And a great look at that via Track Tech Talk. And Kimberly Pressler is laneside with this report.
Thanks, Mike. Rhino, you guys just lost, but you're still in the game. What do you need to do to bounce back to take this win?
Just take one shot at a time. You know, we've got 2 frames of bowl. We got to give it our best 2 shots that we have in our bag.
Well, Tommy, you just heard what the Dallas Strikers have in mind coming up for this team match. What do you guys have as a strategy?
Well, you know, we bowled together quite a bit around the world and everything, and we're all good friends, so I think that's going to work to our advantage. Maybe we'll do a little more talking and hopefully go rely on one of our coaches and our manager and see if we can't get lined up and take this thing home. All
right, well, good luck to you both. Guys, back to you.
When we return, PBA League 3 points will determine our winner and our semi-finalists. Stay with us. Welcome back to Thunderbowl Lanes, Allen Park, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. The PBA League is in session. Silver Lake Atom Splitters and Dallas Strikers. Silver Lake with a 2-1 advantage. Time now for the Geico Championship recap with Randy.
Thank you, my friend. It was Chris Barnes taking on Norm Duke / Rhino Page. Rhino Page came into the match halfway through, but this singles competition was all about Chris Barnes. Strike after strike after strike. He threw the front 9 until that big disastrous split in the 10th. But that match was over. 265 to 208. Then in the doubles, Chris Barnes once again. Huge mistake, whipping the 4-pin in the 6th frame. Brian Smith now gets up in the 10th. He needs a strike to win. 9 to tie, 8 to lose. Then in the trio competition, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters brought in the big guns. Dom Barrett, Wes Malott, and Tommy Jones. They would string strikes in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th frame, grab the lead, and never relinquish it. This match now 2-1 in favor of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
It's the 5-point Team Baker game. Here's the lineup for the Dallas Strikers. Leading off in bowling first and sixth, it's Hall of Famer Norm Duke, followed by Machuga, Amloto Monticelli. Bowling the fourth and ninth and 10th. Norm covers the 10-pin.
These teams will switch lanes after the fifth frame. Brian Smith to start things off for the Atom Splitters on the left lane. He'll bowl the first and sixth frame. Great shot.
Here we go. Good shot, guys. Come on. That was better.
Here's the lineup for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. All 5 players. Brian Smith will lead off. Chris Barnes, Dom Barrett, Wes Malott, and Tommy Jones on the back end.
Pretty strong on paper there. That's not the team that you want to wake up to in the morning and have to face, you know, in any kind of competition.
That's high, and the 3, the 4, the 6, the 7, and the 10 split for Machuga.
Well, it's early, so right now Mike Machuga, if he's able to convert this split, all will be forgiven as he cuts right through the nose, leaving the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. The key, though, is to avoid the open frame, and lost 5 pins in count, 15 and 9 out would give him 24 in the second. Not the way you want to start. This is very makeable. Oh!
5 and out.
And he banked that off his ankle. That's what sent it in the right channel.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that does not feel good. You throw a 15 or 16 pound ball into that ankle bone, very painful. Bad shot, good break for Chris Barnes on the left lane, and he's disgusted because he threw it bad. He could have really taken advantage of that open frame in the second by throwing a strike and giving his teammates a chance to build on that. That was just a pull. Massive pull left inside a target.
Found that spot. No, it's still you, but.
Monticelli up. Randy, what is the science and the strategy behind putting together a 5-player Team Baker lineup?
Well, I think that the leadoff bowler is someone that can get you going out of the gate and pump the team up. It's kind of the team cheerleader. Your anchor bowler is going to be the player that you have the most confident in throwing a strike when you need it in the 10th frame.
Monticelli up for Dallas. Skates wide and just a 2-pin.
Mike Machuga has too much reaction down lane. Monticelli can't get his ball to turn over down lane. You got Rhino Page sitting next to Machuga with the bad wrist. Machuga now with the bad ankle. All I can think of is one word. Medic.
Come on. Come on.
Dom Barrett up for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. finalists at the PBA Tournament of Champions this year. And winner of the PBA World Championship. Toes the line in third. And that's a high flush hit. 10 back for Dom.
All right. Bullmaster has no problem getting his ball to roll up and hit the 1-3 in the face.
Kimberly Pressler is laneside and has this update on Mike Machuga. Kimberly.
Mike, why don't you tell us what actually happened with your ankle and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty embarrassed. I just tried to get inside of it a little bit to try to get it around that 3-pin and make the spare, and my ankle got in the way, and it's getting it's going to swell up and get sore, but I'll be all right.
Are you going to be able to continue?
Oh, yeah.
Good luck to you.
We were bowling in a tournament in St. Louis many years ago. There was a player on the tour by the name of David White from Oklahoma City. He threw it into his ankle so hard he knocked his left leg out from underneath him. The ball went in the gutter. He fell in the gutter.
Watka up for Dallas, 4th frame. And Watka finds the pocket. Ken openers the rack.
Come on, guys, let's go now.
Trying to get something going for Dallas.
Nice looking shot there by Dave Watka. He rolled it nicely, and that ball read the spot and hooked up into the pocket. Watch this. He's going to keep his hand underneath. Rolled this pretty good. Just left a 4th arrow. You can see that ball actually made a track or a tracer right through the blue oil. That was pretty cool.
Malott light, double wood, 2 in the 8th.
Malott light? Boy, those are 2 words you rarely hear together. I mean, this guy's bowling ball always hooks and hits the pocket. Malott light. Boy, I'm not sure I've said that a lot in the last 6 months.
Interesting to note that in team competition, first 5 frames are bowled on 1 lane. Teams will switch sides after 5 frames. And Malott picks up the 2 in the sleeper 8.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy bowl as well as Wes Malott with a bad knee. You know, he downplays it and he says, well, it's not that bad. You know, it's sore, it swells up. Let me tell you something. He has barely any knee bend, and that's directly related to a sore left knee.
Very important shot here, and Rhino Page knows it, and he's taking a little extra time.
Well, they're down by 28, and we're only through 4 frames. In that 2nd frame, they lost a boatload of pins. Machuga only got 5 with 2 balls.
4-6-10 split. Really?
Disaster. What a time for this to happen. He could have cut the lead to 10. Instead, it's the 4-6-10 staring Rhino Page in the face.
Open frame for Dallas, and the hole got a little deeper. The winner here advances to the semifinal of the PBA League and will face the winner of the Philadelphia Hitmen and the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits. Yet to come. Tommy Jones now up in the 5th anchor player on this team lineup. He bowls the 5th and 10th. Splitters up 34, 5th frame. Powerful strike.
Done.
So halfway through this all-important 5-on-5 team match, the Atom Splitters are up by 34. But the teams will swap lanes for the last 5 frames. Will the left lane help the Strikers climb back into this match? We'll find out when we come back to Thunderbowl Lanes. The PBA League quarterfinals are brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Barbasol, Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol. By the USBC, the national governing body, servicing the needs of bowling. To learn more, visit us on bowl.com. And by hotelplanner.com, the best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms, best rate, guaranteed.
PBA League rolls on at Thunderbowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. And it's the final 5 frames of our 3-point team game. The winner advancing to the PBA League semifinals. 5 frames to play. Silver Lake with the advantage. And Brian Smith has his last crack at helping his team here in the 6th frame. Splitters up 34. Chance to increase. Smith in the pot again. Gets rid of the 7, but not the 10.
And that's okay, because Brian Smith will now go back with some recon to his teammates and let them know the move and the adjustment he made from the left lane to the right lane.
Ten-pin conversion.
Vector 2, baby. Yes.
Next up, Strikers player manager Norm Duke, who is the subject of our Columbia 300 Fun Fact. Duke, the youngest player to ever win a PBA title. The oldest was John Hendegaard, who was 57 when he took the 1995 Northwest Classic. 6th frame. Norm's win came in the 1983 Cleveland Open, where he climbed from the bottom of the stepladder to collect the title. And one of those he knocked off? None other than the greatest of all time, Earl Anthony. 31 years later, Norm has 37 PBA titles. Only Anthony and Walter Ray Williams Jr. have won more.
Norm Duke. I liked it. Will shoot a spare. And that is not what Dallas needs at this point.
Guys.
Running out of frames. And Norm Duke looked back at his team, Randy, and said about the same.
Well, his team needs to get on the strike wagon. And they're down 34 pins. 4 frames to go. Max score 206 for the Dallas Strikers. Not good. Silver Lake is clean, pulling a Dutch 200 game. That's a strike spare every other frame. They're clean through 6 frames.
Chris Barnes gets a 10 to fall.
And that time the messenger found the correct address as Chris Barnes shreds the rack. Watch this pin action here. You don't think Brian Smith went back and said, okay, well, I moved this many boards and you know what to do, take over. Oh, yeah. To have any chance now, Dallas Strikers, they have to strike out. I mean, their nickname's the Strikers.
Machuga delivers a strike, coming back from the open frame in the 2nd. Made the landing that time and delivers a strike.
I mean, that's a pretty good shot considering he's got a massive contusion on the inside of his ankle. Pretty good shot there from Mike Machuga. It's like getting the shanks in golf. You know, you don't want it to happen more than once.
Big backswing of Barrett. And a big result. Double.
Seems like every time he's thrown it in this competition, he's struck. Gee, I wonder why he won a major last year and why he dominated the World Series of Bowling. Why not?
Yeah.
Big shot coming up from Amelito Monticelli here in the 8th frame. Down 44.
Must have it.
A couple of choice words in Spanish. And his team still has life.
2:06 remaining on the scorecard for the Dallas Strikers. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters have the advantage and can increase it in the form of Wes Malott foundation frame. And the 10-pin goes late.
I love you. And again, another great shot by the Atom Splitters. And watch this spin action here.
Watka keeps the slight hope alive.
Make them happy.
Well, up to Tommy Jones now, and all he needs to do is stay behind the foul line, and any kind of decent mark with count will do. Nine on the first ball will also seal the fate for the Dallas Strikers.
Silver Lake looking to advance to the semifinal against the winner of Pittsburgh and Philly. Jones, 10 frame. Oh,
are you kidding me?
10.
Are you kidding me? Guess what? Dallas Strikers have a chance to win. Rhino Page is going to get up in the 10th frame. He'll need 2, unless somehow Tommy Jones can convert the 2-8-10. Tommy just goes for the count because that 9 count there forces Rhino Page to get all 3 to win by 1. What an amazing turn of events. All 3 in the 10th. Anything else, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters will move on. Dallas Strikers will be eliminated.
Back in the 5th, Rhino said, "You got one more in you, sweetheart?" Well, how about 3 for the win? 10th frame. The messenger misses, and Silver Lake advances to the semifinal.
Nice shot, brother. Great shot.
That was a great shot by Rhino Page, and all the messengers went the way of the Atom Splitters. That messenger to the wrong address for the Dallas Strikers.
Great shot by Page, but not to be. And the Silver Lake Atom Splitters will live on in the PBA League, advancing to the semifinals.
Take another look at this shot by Rhino Page, and I think this is beautiful. Watch this ball just rev up, rip the pocket, and messenger comes in front. 7-pin denies victory for Dallas.
Oh, man. That was a hell of a shot.
Interesting 10th frame. Jones with the 2-8-10 opening the door for Dallas, but Dallas could not walk through, so Silver Lake advances.
Is that what it was? We were trying to count them up.
Here's a look at the updated PBA League bracket. 3 of the 4 semifinal slots have been filled. Chris Paul's LAX and the defending Elias Cup champions Billie Jean King's New York City WTT Kingpins on one side of the bracket. On the other side, Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters are in, with Pittsburgh and Philly remaining. Randy Peterson is laneside with the Dallas Strikers.
Thanks, Mike J. And with me, the franchise player for the Dallas Strikers, Norm Duke. Anchor bowler for the Dallas Strikers, Rhino Page. Norm, I'll start with you. You seemed to have a heck of a time getting the corner pins out. Why was that?
You know, when your ball's not running over them in the pins, you got to figure out a way to get the ball straight to drive those pins. And I was just flat and ringing and flat and ringing, and just it was a miserable time with the 10-pin today, Randy. You've been there, I know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been there a lot. Now, when Tommy Jones got up in the 10th frame and left the 2-8-10, gave your team life, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, you know what? I knew we had a chance, and now I got my Bulldog up on the left lane last year. He threw an 18-bagger on that very pair right there. I knew I'd set that line up to where our guys would have a chance to get the last 4 or 5. And my boy went up there and just stuffed that thing. and he had the same problem in the 10th as I had the whole day.
Norm,
That's it.
Norm, thanks very much for your time. Rhino, great shot in the 10th frame. Recently coming off a wrist surgery. How is the wrist feeling?
It's about 60%. It's not there yet. I'm going to try to go back up to 15 pounds next week. But it's just a slow process, you know, building that stamina back and everything else. So it's getting there.
What does that do to your confidence when you're throwing 14 pounds, not sure how it's going to hit? What does that do to you mentally?
It just makes you work harder. You know, you can get those balls through the pins, but there's some times where you miss a little bit left, and it looks like a 12-pounder when it hits the pins. So just managing it and making good shots, and, you know, I feel like I made quite a bit of them on the show.
Rhino, take us through the 10th frame. Tommy Jones leaves at 2-8-10. You get up in the 10th. What were you thinking?
Just thinking make the move and let it go. And off my hand, I liked it. It didn't work out that way, and that's bowling sometimes. It's a round objects hitting round objects.
Thanks, Rhino. Let's go over to Kimberly Pressler with the winners.
Thanks, Randy. We said these guys looked good on paper, but tonight they proved they are just that good. Mark, you had a winning team tonight. Was there anything that you would have changed? Because they started to slip a little bit there in that team match.
No, I like my team when we got put together. I like them after they bowled today.
Now you guys are heading into the semifinals. What do you think you're going to have to do to move forward in there?
I wouldn't change much. We bowled pretty good. We were in control of just about every match. We just got to keep filling the frames. I like my chances.
Awesome. Now, Tommy, you gave the other team just a glimmer of hope in the 10th frame. What was running through your mind when you got that split?
Well, I just wanted to do it for the fans. You know, the match, you know, we were kind of way ahead, and went up there, and I thought I made a pretty good shot, and it was just one of those things.
All right, congratulations. The Atom Splitters move on to the semifinals.
So, who will the Atom Splitters face next? Find out in 3 weeks as Lamar Woodley's Pittsburgh Jackrabbits fight Kevin Hart's Philadelphia Hitmen for the last spot in the semifinals. That's Sunday, March 23rd, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The best team on paper is the best team on the lanes today as the Silver Lake Atom Splitters eliminate the Dallas Strikers on the road to the Elias Cup Finals. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. Thanks for watching the PBA League. See you back here in 3 weeks for Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia.